In the sprawling arms of the Andraxian galaxy, amidst the shimmering veils of stardust and nebulous clouds that painted the celestial canvas, lived Zarathak, an alien of notable intellect and unquenchable curiosity. His species, the Zilthorians, was distinguished not only by their bioluminescent skin and elongated limbs but by their profound intelligence and advanced technology that allowed them to traverse galaxies with ease. They had long mastered interstellar travel, pushing the boundaries of space exploration and understanding of life beyond their star system. Zarathak was a senior researcher at the Andraxia Universal Research Institute, a prestigious establishment dedicated to the study of biological and cultural evolution across the cosmos. His focus had always been xenobiology, the study of alien life forms, a field that brought him into the depths of distant worlds, cataloging bizarre and fascinating life forms. However, no species had ever captivated him as much as the humans of Earth. His obsession began innocuously enough. A routine scanning of interspatial communications intercepted a transmission that was distinctly different in its complexity and emotional content. The transmissions, filled with rich imagery, languages, and an array of emotional expressions, showcased an intriguing blend of civilization's highs and lows, from profound art and music to harrowing conflicts and peace efforts. Among these were detailed documentations of human social interactions, their celebrations of life, expressions of love, and their rituals around mating and reproduction. The Zilthorians reproduced quite differently, through a process known as cerebral synthesis, a merging of minds that was efficient and devoid of physical contact or emotional bonding. In contrast, humans had a reproductive strategy deeply intertwined with social structures, emotional connections, and a physical union, aspects foreign and endlessly fascinating to Zarathak. Determined to delve deeper into this unique aspect of human life, Zarathak proposed a focused study on Earth. His goal was to observe and understand the biological and emotional underpinnings of human reproduction. He believed this study could provide insights into the evolutionary advantages of emotional bonds and reproductive success, something that could potentially benefit his own species' understanding of their ancient emotional faculties which had long been suppressed in favor of intellectual growth. With approval from the Institute's council, Zarathak prepared for his expedition. His vessel, the Nebular Pathfinder, was equipped with the latest in cloaking technology and observational instruments capable of detailed biological scans and socio-cultural data collection without the need for physical presence. This would ensure his studies were non-intrusive and ethical, adhering to the Zilthorian principle of observe, do not disturb. As the preparations concluded, Zarathak spent long hours in his personal lab, poring over all available data about Earth. He studied various human languages, familiarized himself with their social norms, and planned his observational strategies. He simulated countless scenarios, from tracking the emotional development of individuals across different cultures to understanding the societal impacts of human reproductive relationships. Finally, the day came when Nebular Pathfinder silently slipped through the cosmic veil, bending spacetime with its advanced drive engines. Zarathak watched the stars blur into lines of white light as they approached the Milky Way, a sight that never failed to stir a sense of wonder in his chest. As Earth came into view, a beautiful, swirling orb of blues and greens adorned with wisps of white, Zarathak felt an unfamiliar flutter of excitement. This small planet, teeming with life and complex dynamics, was about to offer him a unique window into the nature of human life. Positioning his vessel in a geostationary orbit over the North Atlantic, invisible to the naked eye and most terrestrial technologies, Zarathak initiated his scans. His mission was clear: to immerse himself in the study of human reproduction, unraveling the threads of emotion and biology woven through it, all while remaining a silent observer in the void above. This was the beginning of an unprecedented journey into understanding not just another species, but the very fabric that connected all sentient life, emotion and reproduction, intertwined in an intricate dance of life. High above Earth, hidden among the wisps of clouds in the atmosphere, the Nebular Pathfinder floated silently, its cloaking technology rendering it completely invisible to the human eye. Inside, Zarathak was surrounded by an array of holographic displays, each one streaming real-time data from various parts of the planet. He focused primarily on observing intimate human interactions, keen to understand the emotional and social dynamics involved in their reproductive processes. Zarathuk's initial observations took him to different parts of the globe, spanning diverse cultures and environments. He meticulously recorded the subtleties of human interactions in environments as varied as the bustling streets of Tokyo, the serene expanses of the Sahara Desert, and the vibrant communities of Rio de Janeiro. Each location brought its unique flavors of human connection and bonding, revealing the complexity and richness of Earth's social tapestry. One of the most fascinating aspects for Zarathuk was the concept of marriage, a ritual binding two individuals in a partnership often associated with love, support, and reproduction. He noted how this union varied significantly from one culture to another. In some places, it was a lavish celebration filled with pomp and joy, while in others, it was a solemn, binding agreement rooted in tradition and duty. To deepen his understanding, Zarathuk used a sophisticated algorithm to translate and analyze the languages he encountered. He absorbed volumes of literature on human psychology, sociology, and biology, integrating this knowledge with his observations. His findings began to sketch a complex picture of how emotions like love, jealousy, compassion, and betrayal played crucial roles in the human reproductive strategy, influencing everything from mate selection to parental investment. However, observing from afar was not enough for the depth of understanding Zarathuk craved. He deployed dozens of micro-drones, no larger than a fly, to gather closer insights. These drones were equipped with miniaturized cameras and sensors, capable of capturing detailed audio-visual data without disturbing the natural setting. They fluttered through public parks, sat unnoticed in cafes, and hovered near open windows, transmitting a constant stream of human interactions back to the nebular pathfinder. Zarathuk was particularly intrigued by the intensity of human emotions associated with reproduction. He witnessed the joy of a couple at the birth of their child, the grief and despair at the loss of a loved one, the fiery sparks of a couple in love, and the cold dissolution of a relationship gone sour. Each of these emotions, he hypothesized, had evolutionary implications, affecting the psychological and physiological well-being of individuals and, by extension, their reproductive success. During one observational foray, Zarathuk's attention was caught by a family in the suburbs of Minneapolis. Through the cycle of seasons, he watched them celebrate various milestones, birthdays, anniversaries, and holidays. Each event was imbued with rituals that reinforced family bonds and showcased the role of extended families in human reproductive strategies. This observation prompted him to consider the role of community and kin in human survival and propagation, a factor less significant in Zilthorian reproduction, where community involvement was minimal. As Zarathuk continued his study, he began to piece together how these complex emotional and social threads were woven into the fabric of human life, shaping everything from individual life choices to broader societal structures. His research was painting a picture of a species for whom reproduction was not just a biological process but a deeply emotional, cultural, and sometimes spiritual act. Months passed, and Zarathuk compiled a comprehensive analysis of human reproduction. He explored concepts such as the impact of economic conditions on reproductive choices, the influence of political and religious beliefs on family size, and the evolution of human mating systems in response to environmental pressures. Each discovery was documented, analyzed, and stored in the vast database of Nebular Pathfinder, creating a multidimensional map of human reproductive behavior. Yet, as thorough as his studies were, Zarathuk remained cautious, always ensuring his presence remained undetected, maintaining the ethical boundary of observation without interference. His mission on Earth was far from over, but he knew that the depth of understanding he had gained was only the beginning. There were still many layers to unravel, and each finding brought new questions to light, questions that could only be answered with more observation, more analysis, and more reflection on the intricate dance of life that played out below him. Zarathuk's diligent study from the Nebular Pathfinder continued to provide deep insights into human behaviors and social structures surrounding reproduction. Each day presented new data, enhancing his understanding of human emotional complexity and its evolutionary benefits. However, as meticulous and cautious as his observations were, the sophisticated technology and occasional closer approaches did not go completely unnoticed by Earth's inhabitants. It began subtly. A series of unexplained anomalies and fleeting shadows caught in the peripheral vision of a nighttime skywatcher. These incidents slowly accumulated, weaving into the tapestry of urban legends and conspiracy theories. The occasional blip on a radar, a mysterious interference in communication networks, or an inexplicably clear image captured by a high-altitude drone began to raise eyebrows among certain circles, specifically within the global intelligence and scientific communities. In a highly secure facility in Geneva, a group of astrophysicists and military strategists convened under the utmost secrecy. They called themselves the Sentinel Group, and their task was to assess and respond to unidentified aerial phenomena. Initially skeptical, the group's interest was piqued significantly after several synchronized incidents across the globe suggested a pattern that seemed to intelligently avoid detection while focusing on populated areas. As Zarathak observed a wedding in rural India, capturing the vibrant expressions of joy and community bonding, the Sentinels were analyzing the data spike in electromagnetic activity over the area at the exact time of the event. This coincidence was too precise to ignore. It led to a coordinated effort to triangulate the source of these occurrences, employing a global network of satellites equipped with advanced detection technologies that could potentially pierce Zarathak's cloak. Back aboard the nebular Pathfinder, Zarathak remained oblivious to the growing human interest in his activities. His focus was on a significant finding regarding the correlation between cultural diversity in reproductive rituals and genetic variability. This research was poised to revolutionize his understanding of emotional evolution. However, his pursuit of knowledge was about to encounter a significant hurdle. The Sentinels, through a concerted effort, managed to isolate a faint yet consistent anomalous signal emanating from Zarathak's location in geostationary orbit. Once pinpointed, a covert meeting was arranged among world leaders to discuss the implications. The consensus was mixed. Some advocated for immediate defensive measures, fearing a potential threat, while others argued for a cautious approach, suggesting that the entity behind these observations might be open to peaceful engagement. The decision was made to attempt communication. A high-powered transmission directed at the nebular Pathfinder broke the silence of space, delivering a message in multiple languages, including some Zarathak had studied. The message was clear: identify yourself and declare your intentions. Zarathak, caught off guard by the sudden contact, responded with a mixture of curiosity and caution. He activated his communication module, replying with a carefully crafted message that explained his mission of peaceful research, emphasizing his focus on understanding human emotional bonds and reproductive strategies as an academic endeavor. His response, though honest and straightforward, sparked a global debate. News of the contact leaked to the public, stirring a media frenzy and worldwide speculation. Opinions were divided. While many were fascinated and saw this as an opportunity for groundbreaking interstellar dialogue, others felt threatened, fearing that Zarathak's interest in human reproduction could have sinister implications. Social media platforms were ablaze with discussions, theories, and fears about the alien observer. Influential leaders in bioethics, theology, and social sciences weighed in, arguing the potential moral implications and risks of exposing humanity's intimate details to an unknown alien species. The discourse grew so heated that it prompted the United Nations to call an emergency session to address the situation, putting Zarathak and his research under the international spotlight. As the debates raged on, Zarathak watched and recorded the unfolding drama, his initial mission now overshadowed by a growing crisis he had never intended to spark. His objective to study human behavior was turning into a live experiment on how humans react to the unknown, particularly when it hovered silently in their celestial backyard. In the unfolding drama on Earth, as governments grappled with the reality of Zarathak's presence, a faction of the global scientific community saw a golden opportunity. Leading researchers in fields ranging from astrophysics to anthropology advocated for a collaborative approach. They argued that Zarathak's advanced understanding and technology could usher in a new era of scientific enlightenment and potentially solve some of humanity's most perplexing problems. As these discussions gained momentum, an international consortium was established, comprising scientists, diplomats, and policymakers, tasked with formulating a strategy to engage Zarathak in a structured exchange of knowledge. This group, known as the Earth-Zilthorian Liaison Framework, EZLF, aimed to foster a controlled environment where information could be shared safely and productively. Zarathak, eager to repair the unintended rift his research had caused, agreed to this arrangement with a mixture of relief and enthusiasm. He began by transmitting detailed reports of his findings about human reproductive behaviors and emotional connections, along with comparative data from other species he had studied in the galaxy. This information was groundbreaking, providing insights into the evolutionary advantages of emotional bonding in reproductive success. The initial exchange was a success. The global scientific community was abuzz with discussions on Zarathak's research, which challenged many existing theories about evolution and sociology. Universities and research institutions worldwide hosted symposiums and debates, dissecting the implications of his findings. The media covered these events extensively, slowly shifting public perception from fear to cautious fascination. However, as the collaboration deepened, not everyone was convinced of the benign nature of Zarathak's mission. A significant faction within the global community, led by a coalition of national security advisors from various countries, remained deeply suspicious. They argued that the alien's technology and his deep knowledge of human behavior posed a potential threat to global security and individual privacy. This group, known as the Global Security Alliance, GSA, pushed for increased oversight and control over the interactions with Zarathak. The GSA's concerns were not unfounded. During a closed session of the United Nations Security Council, encrypted communications were presented showing that Zarathak's observations had inadvertently captured sensitive information. This included strategic military movements in various countries, under the guise of studying human group dynamics and leadership hierarchies. The revelation fueled a heated debate over the intentions behind Zarathak's research and the possible risks of his continued presence in Earth's orbit. Caught between scientific curiosity and security concerns, the United Nations was forced to reevaluate the terms of engagement with Zarathak. Tensions escalated as debates raged over the potential exploitation of the data he had gathered. In response, Zarathak offered to restrict his observations to purely scientific inquiries, proposing a set of ethical guidelines developed in collaboration with the EZLF to govern his research activities. Despite these assurances, the rift within the international community deepened. The GSA lobbied for stringent measures that would limit Zarathak's access to Earth's data streams and require his observations to be supervised by an international oversight committee. Meanwhile, the scientific community, led by the EZLF, argued that such restrictions would hinder the free exchange of knowledge and compromise the potential benefits of interstellar collaboration. Amid this growing conflict, Zarathak continued his research under increasing scrutiny. Each of his transmissions was carefully analyzed, and his interactions with the EZLF were monitored by the United Nations. The delicate balance between maintaining Earth's security and fostering a groundbreaking scientific partnership was constantly tested. As Zarathak navigated this complex web of diplomacy and distrust, he remained committed to his original mission of understanding and documenting the vast array of life in the universe. His hope was that by demonstrating the value of his work and adhering to the agreed-upon ethical standards, he could alleviate the fears and suspicions surrounding his presence and pave the way for a more harmonious interstellar relationship. However, the path to mutual understanding was fraught with challenges, and as Zarathak would soon learn, human fear and suspicion could be as complex and unpredictable as any of the emotions he had come to study. The unfolding events on Earth were providing him with a new layer of data on human behavior, data that was as valuable as it was volatile. As the debates raged and the world's eyes increasingly focused on the mysterious visitor in their celestial backyard, Zarathak continued his research with meticulous care, albeit under the watchful eyes of the newly formed International Oversight Committee, IOC. The challenges of navigating the political landscape of Earth became an unexpected part of his study, providing him with profound insights into human governance, diplomacy, and conflict resolution, themes that were initially peripheral to his mission but now stood central to his ongoing presence above Earth. Throughout the process, Zarathak engaged in several live broadcasts, explaining his findings and the intentions behind his research. These sessions were streamed worldwide and featured simultaneous translations in multiple languages to ensure that his message reached as broad an audience as possible. He discussed the biological and emotional aspects of human reproduction, drawing parallels with other species across the universe to highlight the uniqueness and commonality of life. His demeanor was calm and his logic clear, aiming to demystify his activities and reduce the growing fear among Earth's populace. Simultaneously, Zarathak released detailed scientific data to research institutions under the supervision of the EZLF, maintaining transparency in his procedures and findings. This data included advanced genetic analyses that could help in medical research, particularly in understanding genetic diseases and the role of emotional stress in physical health, a contribution that garnered him a cautious endorsement from the global medical community. Despite these efforts, the atmosphere of suspicion persisted. The GSA continued to push for Zarathak's departure from Earth's orbit, citing security concerns and the potential for technological espionage. Their campaign was effective in keeping the public on edge, leading to protests in various cities, with people divided between defending Earth's sovereignty and advocating for the potential benefits of alien interaction. Amid this tumult, a significant turning point came when a major natural disaster struck the eastern coast of Asia. Zarathak, observing the catastrophe, offered his assistance by providing real-time data analysis and advanced predictive models to aid in the evacuation and emergency responses. His intervention saved thousands of lives and demonstrated the practical benefits of his technology. This act of goodwill did much to sway public opinion, with many starting to view him as a valuable ally rather than a potential threat. The sentiment was not universal, however. The GSA leveraged the incident to argue that Zarathak's capabilities posed a significant risk if ever used with hostile intent. They called for immediate measures to ensure that such technology was not only regulated but also replicated for Earth's use, to prevent a technological imbalance. As the debates intensified, Zarathak came to realize that his presence was becoming a catalyst for division rather than the unity he had hoped to foster. After much reflection, he decided that the best course of action was to conclude his mission and leave Earth, trusting that the seeds of understanding he had planted would continue to grow in his absence. In his final broadcast to Earth, Zarathak shared his comprehensive findings, along with a message of peace and hope. He expressed his admiration for human resilience and creativity, in his hope that Earth would continue to explore and value the vast diversity of life within the universe. He left behind a small, hidden repository of knowledge, accessible only to those dedicated to the pursuit of peaceful interstellar relations. His departure was met with mixed emotions worldwide. For some, it was a relief, a removal of a perceived threat. For others, it marked the end of a remarkable chapter in human history, filled with unprecedented scientific collaboration and interstellar dialogue. News outlets and social media discussed his departure for months, and the academic papers generated from his shared data continued to influence scientific thought for years to come. Zarathak returned to Andraxia with new insights that would indeed revolutionize his people's understanding of emotional evolution and reproductive diversity. Meanwhile, Earth continued to wrestle with the ethical and philosophical questions raised by his visit. His stay became a case study in the potential and pitfalls of first contact, taught in universities and discussed in policy circles. The legacy of Zarathak's visit was a complex tapestry of fear, curiosity, conflict, and cooperation, a mirror of the very human nature he had come to study. As Earth slowly advanced into a more significant presence in the cosmos, the lessons learned from the encounter with Zarathak guided its people in future interactions with the stars, forever shaping their path toward becoming a part of the broader galactic community. In the years following Zarathak's departure from Earth, the impact of his visit continued to resonate across multiple facets of human life and society. The academic community, having been granted unprecedented access to interstellar biological data, embarked on a new era of scientific inquiry. Universities around the world established extraterrestrial studies programs, and Zarathok's repository of knowledge became a cornerstone of interdisciplinary research, spurring innovations in genetics, psychology, and environmental science. The political landscape was equally transformed. Zarathok's visit had exposed the vulnerabilities and the potential of Earth's political entities to manage and engage with non-earthly beings. In response, the United Nations expanded its charter to include protocols for extraterrestrial contact. The formation of the Earth Interstellar Relations Bureau, EIRB, marked a significant step towards preparing humanity for future encounters, with the goal of ensuring that Earth's interests were protected while fostering peaceful interstellar relationships. The cultural impact was profound as well. Media outlets, filmmakers, and writers drew inspiration from the events surrounding Zarathok's visit, creating works that explored themes of fear, curiosity, unity, and diversity. These stories helped to shape public perception, turning fear of the unknown into a shared narrative of exploration and possibility. Museums opened exhibits dedicated to the Zarathok mission, featuring replicas of his technology and interactive displays that taught visitors about the science of other worlds. However, the legacy of curiosity Zarathok left behind was not without its challenges. The revelation of his observational capabilities spurred debates over privacy and security that influenced global data protection laws. Activists and policymakers grappled with the implications of surveillance, both terrestrial and extraterrestrial, leading to a new framework for data privacy that emphasized consent and transparency. The scientific data that Zarathok shared also had unexpected consequences. Researchers discovered genetic markers and evolutionary traits that challenged existing theories about human origins and development. This led to heated academic debates and a re-evaluation of human evolutionary history, integrating the possibility that Earth's life forms might not be entirely isolated in the cosmos. On a more personal level, the individuals who had worked directly with Zarathok, the scientists, diplomats, and scholars, were profoundly changed by the experience. Many of them became advocates for space exploration and interstellar diplomacy, using their first-hand experience to educate others and promote a more proactive approach to discovering and engaging with extraterrestrial life. Their memoirs and interviews provided a human face to the abstract concept of alien contact, making it more tangible and relatable to the general public. Children who grew up during the time of Zarathok's visit were especially influenced by the cultural shift towards space and the broader universe. Inspired by the stories of an alien visitor who came in peace, a generation of young people pursued careers in astronomy, engineering, and diplomacy, driven by the dream of exploring the stars and perhaps one day, meeting other civilizations like Zarathok's. The technological advancements spurred by the attempt to replicate and understand Zarathok's technology led to breakthroughs in energy efficiency, propulsion systems, and materials science. The global effort to achieve technological parity also minimized the technological disparities between nations, fostering a new era of international cooperation in technology and research. Zarathok's departure had left Earth with a profound legacy. The universe was not only vast and full of wonders but also within reach of human curiosity and endeavor. His visit had altered the trajectory of human civilization, not just in the pursuit of scientific knowledge but in the understanding of humanity's place in the cosmos. Decades later, as Earth sent its first diplomatic and exploratory missions into the stars, the lessons learned from Zarathok's visit guided their way. Humanity approached these new frontiers with a sense of responsibility and wonder, ready to meet other species as equals and to share the message that Earth, too, was ready to join the interstellar community. In the grand tapestry of the cosmos, the threads of curiosity and understanding that Zarathok wove during his visit continued to resonate, driving humanity to seek out new life and new civilizations, forever shaping their destiny among the stars with the legacy of one alien's curiosity about human reproduction.